Thanks for being a land trust property steward and agreeing to monitor one or more of our land trust properties again this year. Last year, we got every one of them monitored for the first time, and we'd like to achieve that perfect record again this year. Why do we monitor properties? Well, it helps us take care of our open space. Um, every one of your reports are thoroughly read by the head stewards and work lists generated. This is last year. You can see here the sign and marker issues that are listed, um, work that was sent for work parties and the trails crew to get to, encroachments, which the property management committee has been working on. Now we're, as you know, an all volunteer organization, and so we don't get to everything, but these these lists are maintained, and we pick things off as we can. The other reason that we need to monitor all the properties is it's required for our accreditation. Um, as an accredited land trust, it makes us more competitive for grants, and more money means more opportunity to set aside open space land in Brantford. So let's get started with the process. Um, you should have received an email like this that gives a basic outline of the process. Um, we'll have you go to a online steward folder in Dropbox, and there open the steward assignment table to see which properties we think you agreed to monitor. From there, you can review your property summary notes, um, then get and prepare the new 2024 Avenza map on your phone. Um, Avenza really is helpful for doing a thorough monitoring of the property. It shows you the borders and lets you document where problems are. We have all new maps this year, so even if you have an old map on your phone, we ask you to download the new one. There is a there will be a separate video on how to do that, and I'll put the link to that in the comments down below. Um, Next, we have you download and read copies of um, the reporting form, whether it's a preserve reporting form or an easement reporting form. Doing this before you inspect the property is helpful to know what to look for. Then we have you monitor your property, again, hopefully using Avenza maps um, to do more thorough monitoring. And we ask you to take photographs. Horizontal photographs work best for the reporting form. Finally, you fill out that form, and if you read carefully through each line, it gives you instructions on how to do that step by step. This year, we'll be submitting the forms to a submission folder rather than emailing them back. Okay, so let's get started by going to this link. So this will open in your browser. Um, and it's a list of the 6 steps that I just went through. Um, there's instructions. If you open these documents, there's instructions in more detail that especially new stewards may want to work through. There's also combined detailed instructions for doing the whole thing, and links to the 3 steward training videos This one, the one for Avenza, and the one for inserting photos into the monitoring report. So whether you're a new steward or a grizzled veteran, you're going to want to start here by clicking this link. And here is the steward assignment table. It says, please read this, so we're going to do it. Find your name and property assignments. Then it is easiest to open the two blue links to the right in separate browser tabs. For Mac, it's Command Click, otherwise it's Control Click. These two tabs provide everything an experienced steward needs to get their monitoring done and reported. For the more detailed instructions, you can go back to the Stewards folder we were just in. So let's do that. I'm going to find my name on here. Here we are. And pick this property. And so it's a Mac, so I'm holding down the Command key, summary notes, and preserve blank form. Okay, so here's the basic information for this property, the name, a description, the management plan, synopsis. If you want to read the full management plan for the property, you can click this link. It'll take you to another folder. Some general advice on where to park and how to access the property. There's a link to the town GIS. Just a warning, many of these are inaccurate, but they do help you figure out who owns the surrounding properties and so forth. There's a link to prior monitoring reports. You can look up last year's. You'll find on that report that some comments from the head steward, what they took from the report and what action they plan to take. For some of the properties, there's a trail map that's linked to, and then there's this QR code to get you the new 2024 Avenza map, to get that onto your phone for the property. And as I said, there's a separate video about using Avenza. So that's the top part of the form with the basic information on the property. The bottom part is the notes, which is something you as a steward can add to, and the instructions for downloading the form and doing that to help provide a record for the property and tips for any future stewards who take over the property. So that's the bottom part there. Okay, next we'll go to that second tab that we opened. And again, it says, please read this. So we're going to, cannot be filled online. Download to fill on your laptop by clicking this downward arrow to the top right in Dropbox. So let's find that arrow. It's right there. We're going to click it. Now here, it may ask you to sign in. You don't have to. You can just do or continue with download only. And there goes the download. So now this form has been put onto my hard drive somewhere. So you go to Finder in Mac or Windows File Explorer, and in my case, my downloads go to a desktop. They may go to your download folder or elsewhere. So let's open this blank. And so to continue reading, text fillable fields are to the right of every greater than sign. Click there and type in the expanding highlighted field that appears. Do not type return in these fields. If insufficient space, write see below and continue in other comments. You You can click on boxes to check off or clear them. And it gives you links for things you can review, like the summary notes page that we just went over, management plans and prior reports. So these are generic forms, so you have to identify which property you're working on. Okay, so click here, you see that gray box appears, and type in Lower Pine Creek E. The inspection year is pre-filled. The date of inspection, let's say it's today. You put in your name. So you can always clear it, backspace, make corrections. Email address and phone number. And then here's a checkbox. You can just click it, and if you decide you want to change it, you unclick it and click the one next to it. And then we would just have you carefully read through every line. Things are pretty self-explanatory. For parking, let's say here it's adequate for the parking and the capacity is 4 cars. For signage, it says check the box in the left margin if you think signage issue needs attention from property management. That's what all these boxes are for, to help draw the attention of the head steward to that part of the form. Remember, we have 71 forms this year to go through. So for sign, let's say there's a sign on the property, but the post is in poor condition, and there aren't any boundary markers, but it's surrounded by marsh. So we don't think that adding a boundary marker is going to be of any use. These are the smaller markers around the periphery of the property. So describe any sign or marker issue with locations. So we might say at red pin, that would be on the Avenza map, post is rotten and falling over. So this is something you'd want to draw the head steward's attention to, so you click off that left margin. There are similar questions about trails and habitat and invasives, encroachments. We won't go over those all. Let's skip down to maintenance, though, and describe a few things. Here, check this box if urgent action needed, describe with pin color. So at the blue pin on the Avenza map, loose board on bridge over raging river. This is to alert the head stewards to anything urgent that needs to be done on the property. Checkbox and margin if a work party would be useful, and indicate what should be addressed. Stewards may, if they care to, address issues like trail maintenance, clip vines, growing up trees. Please leave any issues with neighbors to property management. Checkbox if you plan to address some of the issues. So let's say you reported trash on the trails, and also a tree over the trail, and also this loose board. If you write here that you picked up the trash, then we know that that's been addressed by you, and that just leaves the loose board and the tree over the trail for property management to address. Number of hours you spent on the property over the entire year. Notes here, you can check this box if you're adding something to notes, and to do that you just follow the instructions on the summary notes form. and upload it. Um, Other comments. Um, Again, check the box in the left margin if anything in comments needs attention. This expands to 7 lines, so there's plenty of room here. If some of these other lines up above are limited, so if you ran out of space, you can always continue here. Then you sign the form by just typing. Can't spell my name. And the date. Leave this box box blank. This is where the head stewards writes his review. And again, you can go back to last year's form and see what we wrote on your form. Next is the photos section. People have had trouble with this last year. I think in a lot of cases it's because they were using a different word processor than Office, or they had a very old version of Microsoft Word. By the way, Microsoft just released a new non-subscription Office that's good for 5 years. It comes to less than half of the 365 subscription in terms of the price. So if you're considering updating your Microsoft Office anyway, this would be a good time to do it. So I'm just, there's a separate YouTube on getting photos into your report, but I'm just going to show you one of them. So what I've done is downloaded the photos from my camera to my desktop on my laptop here, and I'm going to click on the icon for that, and this should work in Finder or in Windows File Explorer. If you click on the file name itself, sometimes it copies the file name rather than the entire file. So again, click on the icon, or you can click over here to highlight this and then copy and go back to Microsoft Word, click in this box, and there you see the photo is inserted. And it's the same thing here. We actually ask you to type in captions. Again, red pin facing north, tree over trail, something like that. Then you get to the very bottom and read through this. It asks you to save this form. Very important to save it at this point, so you're not submitting a blank form. And so the easiest way to do that is to save as, and we ask you to take out this bit and put in the property abbreviation, and I'm gonna save it to my desktop, and so it should be sitting there. Then submit your report by uploading the docx file to Steward submission folder. It says click this link and then add files from computer and upload. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so you'll get this. You click add files, files from computer. Here it goes, it's gone to my desktop. You might have to navigate to get to where you saved this. So here's the file that we just saved. So I'm going to click this, upload down here. Now, it may prompt you to add your name. If you're uncomfortable with that, you can just stick in initials or make up initials. If you're uncomfortable with giving Dropbox your email address, you can just put in this fake one. Um, and now you have to click upload again. And then wait for this finished uploading um, to show up. Okay, that's all I have to go over. Thanks for listening. And again, thanks very much for being a Brantford Land Trust steward.